Welcome back. Jeff from Wisconsin Woodworking. This is part 2 in the series of the desk build. In part 1, we went through and we squared up the legs. We went through and broke down all the plywood. At the end, which you did not see, is that I switched over to my dado stack. And then what I did is I went through and I put in all the joints. I can't even think. It's too early in the morning right now. Anyways, I put in all the joints with the dado stack. And anyways, this is what I got. So the way this is going to work is I reversed the joints here so that this would stay in line and you'd give a nice even look. The sides will mount here. This gets actually mounted to the sides, which I'll show you in a minute. I have one done now. This is the top that my table, I gotta put slots yet on the insides of this, and I gotta actually finish the framework here. We gotta do a framework on the inside. But the sides will mount. You got a drawer, 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 and 2 more over there for a total of 5 drawers. And right now I have one of the sides done. Let me get it for you. Alright, this is one of the sides. I'm going to have a 1/4 inch reveal on both sides of this. Same thing will be on the other side. And then we will have, at the end, we got to cut the tapered legs on it. This width is actually 1 3/4, and the taper comes down to where it's 1 inch. And then on the other side, 1 inch. So we have from the top down to where the taper begins, which is this one, is 13 inches. The plywood runs from top to here's 12 inches. And then what I have, this is 1 1/4 down from this mark. I'm sorry, from this point here up is 1 1/4, and I got dominoes in here. And then I got 2 more in the middle and 1 at the top to help the plywood stay straight and strong. I'm using dominoes for the reason of I didn't want to go through and try to do a mortise and tenon with plywood. I know it can be done. It would just be quick and easy to make a domino mortise and tenon. It's still just as strong. So now I have 2 more legs here that I'm going to do for the other side. So let's get started. flush on the inside, 1/4 inch reveal here. So now we have to figure out where the sides are going to get mounted in here. Let me move some of this. Alright, I snugged this up with a clamp. It came in here on the edge 1/4 inch, which I had set on here, my marking, and I scribed the line down the leg, which will be hidden. And then what I did is I flushed out this backside here, and then I made a couple marks on here to indicate where I'm going to bring my Craig jig out. I'm going to drill the holes on the bottom of this plywood so that when it is time, I can actually screw this down. It'll be flush with the bottom, and that'll start my set line for all the drawers. You know, everything gets mounted up, and then we can get this thing assembled and glued up. I want you to see what I'm lining up here. When you pull that away, you can see the pencil mark. Pencil mark gets centered right there. And I just bring this back, grab the handle, and drill. Alright. Alright, now the shelves can be attached to the joinery, and now it'll also be attached through the Craig screws. Now what I want to do is work on the framework for the actual top. So I want to cut the two pieces, do the dominoes. I also got to run it through the saw, and I got to put a kerf in there so that when I attach the top, we can use the clips. They're the fasteners so that the top can move naturally without it cracking because it's all screwed down. So I got to put the slots in for this, and that's just a saw kerf around the top frame. And then I want to build a frame where the center drawer is going to be, I want to be able to lock the two sides together nice and tight down at that point. So I need to build a little frame there. I only got two pieces cut, but I got to cut the other ones. So we'll go through that next. And then from there, I want to do kind of a dry fit, you could say, and see how everything squares up, and then get everything established, fitted nice and tight on the legs, and get that all assembled. And then Once that's done and the dry fit is good, then we're going to glue it up. So now let me take you through the process of finishing up the top frame. I just started making it so I could get things lined up the way I wanted it. So now let's finish. Square. Everything's square. All right. Let's take a look. All squared up. Keeps moving on me. That'll go like that. This one sits in the front. These two sit here. Yeah. Okay, now I can mark this out. I'm gonna look. Now we need a domino because we got the rabbet or the tenon coming up into the dado. If we would plow out the domino right over the dado, we would have a problem. So we need to find out what the size of this thing is. Find the edge of your groove from your dado, which is right here, and place your domino away from it, which looks good right there. And if we pick up the center, you can mark it. And there we go. We can mark that. Do the same thing on this side. gonna go over to our cabinet now. All right. What I did now is, let me show you real quick. All right, the frame is together. You got the dado in the joint. You got the center frame for the center drawer is done. I got it clamped, just it's square, and that's where I'm at right now. Now the only thing I got left to do is I got to put a groove in here, all the way around on this upper frame so that I can put those clips in. I'll do that off camera, but yeah, I'll just do the groove and we should be all set from there. Now that's the end of part 2. I'm going to go that far with it. Part 3, we're going to do tapering of the legs. I'm going to take the panels apart and we're going to taper all 4 legs, and I'll go through that, and then that'll be probably the end of part 3. So stay tuned for part 3. That'll be coming up next. Jeff from Wisconsin Woodworking. A tree's work is never done. Enjoy your shop, make some sawdust. Have a great day. Thanks. Take care.